Hello again. We are going to learn some new words. In fact, today we're going to learn about 5 need to know words for this test. Now, these words I particularly believe become difficult for students because they all start with these vowel sounds. And in this crazy amount of vocab you have to learn for this test, it's pretty easy for these to get confusing. What are the 5 words we're going to learn about? Appurtenance, Encumbrance, Easements, Encroachments, and Estates. Let's talk about the differences in each of these, and hopefully you won't be that person that messes it up. All right, so let's go to our first word, which is an appurtenance. Those are going to be the rights or restrictions that run with the land. Now, when I say run with the land, I mean it attaches to, or sometimes I consider it to be paper-clipped to something. Because when you paper-clip 2 pieces of paper together, when you pick up one piece of paper, the other comes with it. The other runs with it. Or, as another example, I like to say dating and real estate are very similar. So let's say that you're dating somebody and they have little people. They have kids. If you don't know, let me be the first to tell you, but when you date somebody with kids, their children are going to be appurtenant. Those children are going to run with them. They come with them. There's no getting rid of those children. So the children are an appurtenance. Now in real estate, there are things that could be appurtenant, like your rights. Your bundle of rights are appurtenant. You also have things like easements, which are going to be appurtenant. There are easements that run with the land. Or fixtures. Sometimes when you buy properties, you get fixtures or things that are coming with the land. Your improvements on the property, that would be something else. So yeah, there are things that are appurtenant. It's a noun, and it's going to be something that runs with or is paper clipped to the land. Let's go to our second word. And our second word is going to be encumbrance. An encumbrance is also a noun, and it's a limit on how an owner may use the property. It's limiting your bundle of rights. Sometimes it can limit or reduce the value on a property, but not always. An encumbrance is going to be something that limits how you use the property. What are some examples of encumbrances? Well, liens. Liens aren't necessarily going to limit how you use the property, but they are going to definitely affect the value. Another type of encumbrance that we'll learn about in this class is going to be easements. Now, I mentioned easements a moment ago, and I'm going to talk about easements in a second, but an easement is a type of encumbrance. We also have encroachment. And I'm going to spell that correctly for you. And we also have land use controls. Now, when I say land use controls, I mean things like zoning or maybe your HOA restrictions. Those are all encumbrances. Remember, they limit how you use the land, or they limit just your bundle of rights. They restrict them. Now, I've mentioned easements twice, so let's talk about it. The true definition of an easement is a non-possessory, if I can get that right. You don't get the right to possess the land. You don't get the right to live there. Right? You get the right to use it. You can cross the land or you can enter the property, but what you don't get is the right to live in a property. It's the right to cross somebody's property. So it's a type of interest. It tells you what you can or can't do. On a test question, if you see anything that says, Betty has an easement, doesn't matter what kind of easement it is, it automatically tells you that she cannot live there. Now, one type of easement you're going to see a lot is an appurtenant easement. And we just saw that word appurtenant. And we know that means it runs with the land. So when you see the words appurtenant easement, you know that it is one property, and let's call this property B, it's their right to cross over the land of property A. Let's pretend that the road is over here. And if you're the person that owns B, you need to get home. So this is the easement. It is B's right to cross over A's land. That is an appurtenant easement. And the appurtenant part comes in with owning B. It's not the person that gets the right to cross. It's the actual piece of land. And whoever owns that piece of land gets to cross. We call B the dominant tenement. They have the right to use that property, and nothing that A does should be able to stop it. B's right to use the property dominates A's right to do something they wanted to do, like put up a fence. And we're going to call property A the servient tenement, because property A is of service to property B. They're always going to have to allow whoever owns B to cross their property. The right to cross is the easement, and the appurtenant part of an appurtenant easement is that it runs with the land. No matter who owns property A, they will always have to honor that as long as it's recorded. And whoever owns property B will always have the right to cross. That is your easement. Well, the next word that I know we sometimes struggle with is the word encroachment. Now, an encroachment is when you have an intrusion. So you'll see down here, Lot B has put up a pool, but it is clearly crossed over into Lot A. So Lot B's pool is on the wrong side. It's like when you're kids and you've got a sibling and they're in your space. Yeah, the pool for B is in A's space, and this is an encroachment, an unauthorized intrusion into a neighboring property. This is bad, and as you get into real estate and you start doing sales, you'll see that this can be something that stops the sale from going through, or at the very least, it's something that needs to be dealt with. Let's move on to our next word, which is going to be estate. Now, estates you're going to see a lot of. And what an estate is, it's an interest in real property. However, it gives you the right to possess or live there. Remember, I said an easement was non-possessory. It means that you can't live there, you can just use it. If somebody gives you an estate, they are telling you you have a right, and that right is strong enough to say, hey, move in, pack your bag, get your pillow. This is where you can put your head at night. You will learn a lot about estates in your class, but you'll also learn there's two main types of estates. You've got your freehold estates, and you've got your non-freehold estates. A freehold estate means you can live there, and so does your non-freehold. But freehold means ownership, which is why the other word for non-freehold estate is a leasehold. And of course, leasing, you know, when you're leasing a property, you don't own it. You're just renting. You have the right to live there, but no ownership. Freehold means ownership. Non-freehold means leasehold. You're leasing, you're renting. So those are our 5 words. Let's just get one more bonus word. And our bonus word for today is going to be a sheet. Now notice a sheet also starts with an E, a vowel. So it's easy to get lost in all of this. The definition of a sheet is it's talking about what happens. It's what happens when somebody dies with no will and they have no heirs. If you die, which would be sad, with no will and you have no heirs, your property doesn't just sit there empty, gathering cobwebs. Ownership goes to the state. Now, I'm in North Carolina, so that would be, of course, North Carolina's ownership, but whatever state you may live in. When somebody dies without a will, they have no heirs, we don't know what to do with their property, so it escheats to the state. It becomes the property of the state. And an even further bonus is that you can remember escheat is one of the 4 powers of government. Our 4 powers of government are police power, eminent domain, taxation, and of course, escheat, otherwise known as Pete. So that's all I have time for today. I really hope this helps. Don't get these words all confused simply because there's vowels at the beginning. We've got our words here, and just in case you needed a reminder, we've got appurtenance, encumbrance, easement, encroachments, estates, and our bonus word was escheat. Really though, if you have any questions, please just let us know in the comments. Otherwise, I hope this helps. Bye.